clarifying specific opportunities and available supports. To be empowered and to act responsibly with that power, youth must actually have power, and this relies heavily on when and how adults engage them. Before we get started on the road to empowering youth, the adults working directly with them must first be empowered themselves. You don't want to backtrack on plans and promises once youth start generating ideas and activities. Adults working directly with youth should confirm what they can approve and when they need to consult with someone else, so the group can move forward with fewer hiccups and frustrations. Engaging in youth-adult partnership should not be a superficial activity. It deals with real issues in real time. It's important to remember that adults have privilege through their social position to choose when, where, and how to engage youth. Ideally, youth-adult partnerships are created to acknowledge, explore, and reduce this power imbalance and the barriers it creates. Isn't it easier to visualize how something's going to turn out when your tasks are clearly defined and you know what you're working towards? More than that, having clear definition helps build an inclusive environment. Without concrete next steps, meetings can become purely social. This may lead to caring, connected relationships, but it runs the danger of creating cliques and excluding people, the opposite of what we want. Generating a to-do list together allows anyone to join in because you'll all be working toward the same goals. On the other hand, if youth are brought in when things are already in motion and both the direction and the pace are set by adults, young people may become disengaged. Adults may take this to mean that young people just aren't interested in being involved at all, when actually it could mean they just feel less like they are collaborating with adults and more like they are just helpers. We think a good question to keep in mind is, will young people be able to say they were involved in this? Or will young people be able to say that they did it? So now you have an idea of when to bring youth to the table. How do you figure out which opportunities to present to them? We like to ask the guiding question, what might young people be capable of doing or being in this environment? Adults can start by asking themselves what activities, initiatives, and events that they are already planning might be appropriate to offer to young people to design, develop, deliver, and evaluate. An example of this is where the Child and Youth Committee in Mission BC wondered what young people might be capable of doing or being in regards to their annual community conference. Initially, they thought that maybe a youth panel could answer questions about the issues young people face in the community. When we continued to ask the question, what else might youth be capable of in this environment, eventually the committee offered young people the opportunity to completely design, develop, and deliver the entire conference. The youth called it, "You Asked for It." Because you'll probably be working with youth of different ages and backgrounds, there should be several available ways for young people to participate. While giving youth a chance to speak is one of our goals, it can be intimidating to do so. Think of participation as a continuum that goes from observing to contributing and even leading. Instead of telling youth what the plan is, unless they opt out, which they might be afraid to do directly and instead just might stop showing up, make everything opt in. In the case of the You Asked For It conference, adults presented the opportunity to youth by saying something like this: the CYC holds an annual conference about youth every year. This year we're open to it also being by youth, so young people can provide advice, run parts of it, or even the whole thing. What questions do you have? What do you think? Use a consensus-driven agenda map instead of a linear agenda. More about this in the Get Ready to Hit the Ground Running section. Are you stretching yourself enough and being challenged in the right ways? This question can be asked of adults and youth alike to make sure things are heading towards a vision for the future that really matters to them. It's in this environment, an environment that matters, that relationships grow and thrive.